here I am. Haven't made too many of these videos lately. A lot to talk about. So this old man does have something to say about the current situation, this coronavirus. Everybody's freaking out about. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. But it's hydrochloroquine. You see, in my previous life, I used to be a pharmacy tech. You know, if you called in to get your medications, I was a pharmacy tech. So I didn't have to go through the complete battery of schooling, but I was educated. And the way they worked it, my supervisor was a pharmacist. So that's how it works anyway with a pharmacy tech. We don't do any compounding or anything like that. We just we fill the prescriptions. Anyway, I filled many a prescription for Plaquenil, which is hydrochloroquine. And what is it good for? Well, initially it was made for people to keep them from getting malaria. You know, so if you, even today, you say, I'm going to Egypt, for example, and I say Egypt because I know someone that had a situation when they had gone to Egypt, the doctor prescribed it. That pertains to this where I'm getting to. She says, I'm going to Egypt, so the doctor prescribed the Plaquenil for her to take. So she, if bitten by a mosquito, would not get malaria. She started taking it. You take it before you go over, and start taking it, she started getting sick. Wow, what's wrong? I'm getting really sick, really sick. Plaquenil is very toxic. Very toxic. After all, it kills parasites. A form of it was used or is used to kill parasites in your fish tank. It kills. It's toxic. And the husband and wife decided to take it because of corona. And well, you shouldn't take that because not only is it hydrochloroquine, but it got some other things in there not meant for human consumption, on top of the fact that hydrochloroquine is toxic. And the husband died and the wife lived. But the point of the matter is, this woman took it going to Egypt, and the doctor prescribed it once a day. It's one bed or whatever. Yeah, once a day. Well, guess what? You're only supposed to take it once a week. So he, right dosage, I didn't hear anything about that, but the frequency that you're taking it was far too much. You know, take it once a week, not once a day. She was getting sick, and she could have killed her. It's toxic. So I'm hearing all these people, oh, well, you know, people have taken it and they passed away and had these complications. Yeah, because it's toxic. It's toxic, all right? And if you overtake any medication, vitamins, aspirin, anything, you're going to suffer the consequences if something's overprescribed. So we have to talk to adults like we're talking to children now. Like we're talking to kids. Yes, you take anything too much. You know, hell, too much milkshakes, you don't kill you. On a hot day, you take drinking cold milkshakes, I guess. But anything that you get from a doctor, you overdo it, the doctor prescribes it to frequency, too much in the dosage, you could die. Including aspirin. Because they did that, during the so-called Spanish flu. They gave people too many aspirins, people, ulcerated stomachs. It's a statin, so it thins the blood. People started bleeding and they bled out from the damage from the aspirin. Yes, so the point I'm getting at is there is scientific evidence, and there's plenty of it, from doctors, medical professionals, that it works. Now, how does it work? It only works within a very narrow regime. So the people say, well, it doesn't work. If you have to take it within this very narrow window. That window is when you're either asymptomatic, meaning you have no symptoms, or pre-symptomatic, when you're infected and you're about to get it. What is not known, can you take it as a prophylactic? In other words, can I take it in where coronavirus is concerned as a precursor to getting it before I get the illness, and what keep me from getting the illness if I come in contact with someone taking it, prophylactic. Like with malaria. With malaria, you take it before you get malaria. And it protects you from the malaria. So, but we don't know, and there's not enough studies on this, because that's where the coronavirus novel is new. And that's for all the people that say it's a hoax. It's new. There's many type of coronaviruses out there. This is a new form of it. Okay? Not a lot of studies. And we're just learning things bit by bit by bit. Those brave souls out there in the front lines, including in the laboratories, working on things, trying to discover and figure this thing out. Science. You know, science, something that can't be refuted. And that's the same thing for you Christians, because I'm a Christian. Science is just trying to understand what God has done building us this world of ours. In science, once you discover, E equals mc squared or Ohm's law, these things are irrefutable. Right? This is science. Right? How a virus works. This virus gets into the cells, principally in the lungs, but it's theorized it may get into almost any cell. It's been said it attacks red blood cells in the body, white blood cells. It may attack the organs directly, like the heart. The lung is an organ, mind you, but it can get into the lung, maybe the liver, and attack it directly. Young people who have gotten over it without much fanfare are finding out that they have residual effects of having the virus. Damage to the lungs, it's irreparable. Scarring of the lungs. I have scarring of my bronchial tubes. Some of the things they talk about on the low end, I have, because I worked in a coal mine and my bronchial tubes are all jacked up from that. But this happens further down in your lungs, and a lot more damage done to you. But for those people who say it doesn't work, there's many doctors. I listen to YouTube doctors, not hoax, whatever, quacks, but doctors. Some of them actually working on the front lines. You can listen in on the internet on Stanford, which they had a study come out. A Dr. C-Dog out there in Silicon Valley, but that was picked apart by a pathologist, and pathologists are all about data. So they picked it apart and said, well, they didn't do the golden rule, and they didn't do a lot of things that would give them information that could be guaranteed in the study, more likely to be guaranteed. And it wasn't peer reviewed, meaning other peers study it and say this makes sense. You just can't just throw a theory up against the wall, which is what's going on with hydroxychloroquine working. It works on rheumatoid arthritis. Also works on lupus, because what happens to those people is that their immune systems are overactive, and it keeps that from happening, which is what happens with corona. Your body realizes at some point that it's under attack, and it's been pretty much sleeping, because all the while it thinks everything's good to go, hasn't seen this virus before, and by the time it realizes you're under attack, your immune system, it goes into hyperdrive. And that's an overactive immune system. Your lungs are filling up with fluid and all the rest of it. Intubation, no fun. You stick a hose down into the lungs to breathe for the patient. You have to put a feeding tube in because they need food. They have to be sedated. You are going to need a battery of antibiotics. Antibiotics don't work on viruses, but when you're being intubated, foreign objects in the body and what have you, now you can succumb to an infection from that. So you're going to get a battery of antibiotics. Plus, even before intubation, you are going to get weaker because of the virus making you sick, which is going to give a bacteria in your body, any number of them, gazillions of them, an opportunity to make you sicker. So you're given that. And in France, I think they took it with Zepamia 5. I can't even say it now. You were given an antibiotic in France along with the hydrochloroquine. And it worked for a large number of patients. Too large to ignore. And what does it do scientifically? Well, the virus gets inside of a cell, and then it multiplies inside that cell. Well, with zinc, if you take it with zinc, the zinc gets in there and it blocks the virus from replicating itself. It's like that movie, The Thing. It can't go in and replicate itself. it gives your immune system time then to find who else is running around the body to get into a cell, and they can start killing it. And then you develop antibodies. Last bit of information. And this is, again, it's rumor. This isn't any fact, but there is rumors out there that all of this coronavirus, which is natural, lives in nature, mostly in bats. They believe it got from a bat to either a snake or some other animal and then got to human, which is how a lot of this happens when viruses mutate and able to jump species. But here's the thing. The virology of this, the virulence of it, and the fact that it's able to stay on the wing, so to speak, when sneezed, it hangs in the air, might suggest it's been weaponized. So there's stories out there, because viruses like anthrax actually exist. You can go to any cow field, dig up the dirt, and find anthrax. It's very weak. Chances you getting sick from it, your immune system is going to ward it off. It's a very weak form of natural anthrax. Some people have gotten, really sick from anthrax, but it's rare. But if you weaponize it, you make it more virulent, you make it stronger. And one of the things they do when they weaponize these things, they make it easier for people to get it. They make it very fine, they make it light. It'll stay in the air and float around and live in the air, when normally in its natural state the virus would just be in wet droplets, land on the ground, go out so far, land on the ground, and if it's not on someone or on a surface, a fomite, where you touch your face and now you infect yourself, it dies out there because they can't live in ultraviolet light, sunlight, and kills it. But in this case, if it's weaponized, it's a bit stronger, more virulent, easy to get caught, easier to get for someone to catch it, to spread it. So there are not, what is it, about 3, I think I heard? Which is more like how you spread it. Like if you have the flu, it's 1-to-1. You walk into a room full of people, person with the flu is likely to infect maybe one person that they come in contact with. Or whomever they come in contact, it's a 1-to-1 thing. So they meet 5 people, they could give 5 people the virus. If they meet 1, they could give 1 person the virus. On the other hand, someone with corona walks into a room full of people, don't have to meet the people individually. No. They're breathing and talking, and it's blowing out of their mouth, and all over the people are breathing it in. Well, guess what? Like that church in South Korea. Now you're saying 3 people are likely to get it. And then you start multiplying each person by 3, that's exponential, all right? Remember exponent? Remember your math? It's exponential growth. The curve goes right up. For those of you who are maybe living in Ohio or someplace, Trump supporters, I don't know what high school you went to, I don't know if you went to college. Some people got college and they're as dumb as, education, and I don't know, man, people aren't educated very well. But anyway, so that's all I have to say about this. For those people out there, because I got friends of mine, dear friends, one of them in particular has lupus, and she's worried. And I say, what we always do in America, because of white culture, is it's a sum zero thing. So if you get help, it's going to hurt me in some way, shape, fashion, form. Instead of saying, well, it's cheaply made, easy to make. Let's make more of it so everyone has it, and let's flood the market so everyone has it, and doctors can prescribe it, because you got to go to a doctor. Again, it's poison, it's toxic. You just don't grab it off the shelf and start taking it. You'll kill yourself, right? Give yourself a heart attack. But under the doctor's supervision, take it, and on top of the social distancing and stuff, we could probably beat this thing, and we probably could get out and start have people, open up the economy to some degree, and not let people get it and spread it, and we could reach herd immunity, at some point earlier. I mean, this has some great opportunities for us. Great. But it may not happen, because I heard CNN this morning talking about the fired doctor. I forget his name just now. And, you know, everybody's saying the hydrochloroquine doesn't work, which is not true. The Chinese know it works. The French know it works. They've used it in Africa, Taiwan, Costa Rica. You know, there's a pathologist on Peak Prosperity just yesterday. Someone posted this today, so just yesterday. If you go on, and he breaks down all the information, Costa Rica, and it's working. Patients are being healed with the therapy of hydrochloroquine, Plaquenil, and zinc, which is Plaquenil. And then, I mean, the zinc, hydrochloroquine is Plaquenil, and then you take it with zinc. That regimen really has done great things. Last thing, before you want to get into conspiracy theories, which we're in a world of that. The world's flat, you know, 9/11 didn't really happen, blah, 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 all this stupidity. But sometimes there's a bit of truth in this. Like I said, there's a rumor now, and it hasn't been determined yet, that maybe the Chinese were weaponizing it. And I think, listening to what I heard, I mean, it's easy to consider that maybe they were trying to test it. And they wanted to test it somewhere, and they don't care about killing people, the Chinese. They got plenty of them, and that's the kind of people they are. Not that we haven't used stuff on our own Americans, yes. But the Chinese, you know. Where else would you put it if you wanted to hide the fact that it was, if you want to test it? Well, wet market, because you could always, there's deniability. A wet market is a natural incubator for this type of thing. So, and it might have got out of hand. Next thing you know, something they were working on is all over the world, a weapon that they were working on. And there's theories that it attacks your T cells the way HIV does. There's theories that it attacks some of your parts of your body as in a hemorrhagic fever, like Ebola. Like if you took the DNA from Ebola, you took the DNA from HIV, and you put it in a coronavirus, a hybrid, that's part of weaponization. That doesn't happen in nature. You know, it doesn't happen in nature. It takes a long time for a virus just to jump species, let alone make that type of mutation. Right? Whoa, Tesla. Somebody got some money. So, that's all I have to say on this. Yeah, it could be weaponized. The motivation for not telling people so the rich can have it. Maybe they want people to die off. They've been talking about the planet being too overpopulated anyway. And here's an opportunity. Not enough people are dying from the wars. So here's an opportunity to lower the numbers of people on the planet. Maybe that's it. Illuminati theories, whatever. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. No, it wouldn't surprise me, unfortunately. But if it is weaponized and it's out there, why are they not wanting chloroquine to be taken? Because the rich, maybe they want people to die off, like I said. And money. They want American pharmaceuticals to not come up with something as easy to make as aspirin and simple and inexpensive. They want to make something that's so expensive they can charge you through the nose to save you so they can make a lot of money. And if America can corner the market on that, so be it. Hydrochloroquine is working, and there's several medications like that, antivirals. And all of those, if you take them very, very early, they work. They work. It's not a question of if. On most people. Not all medications work on everybody, we know that. But the vast majority of people, it will work. And like any medication, the rule is if you overprescribe it, you will get sick, you will die. All right. So we got all that sorted out. That's a fact. And when you hear about people getting sick and dying, it doesn't mean that the medication doesn't work. It means that this has been overprescribed, or that in particular individual, it didn't fare well with their particular biology of the body. You know, but it doesn't mean it doesn't work across the board and just throw the baby out with the bathwater. No. And that's why we need more study, which is that doctor, you know, CNN double spoke. Oh, it doesn't work, which is the cry that's out there. But then they come out and said, well, you know, he said, I didn't say it didn't work, I'm just saying it needs more study. All right. So, you know, which one is it? You know, you got fired for saying you need more study, or you get fired for saying it doesn't work. Because if he comes out and says it doesn't work, he's going to look like an idiot because it does work. Outside of the United States, they're using it. Of course, outside America, we have universal health care out there. We don't have it. So everything is tied to money, and they want to blackmail you and hold you hostage. That's what they want to do. Hold you hostage and make you pay large sums of money for any type of intervention. And I think, in my mind, that's why they're doing it. Again, other people say they want to lower the population of the planet. Just hold back and let some people die off and get the numbers down. Republicans don't want to pay Social Security. It's killing old people. White people don't like black people, right or left. So it is hitting black people in greater numbers because what? Black people are more dumber. I go around, I don't see anyone wearing masks. I don't see them social distancing. You go on to the Facebook and stuff. People saying viruses don't exist. I mean, how dumb is that? They do. God's sakes, this is simple. Pick up a book, read it. Such a thing is called virus. They actually exist. You can't get it from breathing it. Someone said you got to be injected. Then how do you get polio? I don't even know if polio is a virus. I could go back. I'm pretty sure it is. There might be a parasite, polio. I'll have to look at that. I forgot about that. But there are many viruses you get, like the flu. The flu isn't injected into you. The flu, you breathe it in, or you touch something where someone's snot bubbles have hit. You touch your face, and it gets into mucous membranes, your mouth, nose, eyes. That's how it enters the body. It doesn't go in through the skin like a bacteria might do. Just dumb. It's so dumb. And talking about these things, it's like, I feel like you go to an island and try to explain to a bunch of islanders that never seen anything to do with modern world. They look up at the stars and they think that the stars are our ancestors looking down. You say, no. Those are suns, right? And even some might be our satellites that we put up there. They don't believe it. Oh, you're full of it. No. Now, you're right. So it's like talking to these people. How dumb, in the time that we live in, that any person, a lay person, can get the books, can look it up online. We're talking classes, not some quack. The information is full. You can do full studies. I don't have the means to link it. There's another guy that breaks down how the coronavirus attacks the body. There's more than one. There's a Vietnamese doctor. He's American, but his race is Vietnamese. He's a surgeon. Works on obesity. I might do another video, and I'll just, because I don't have a way of linking, but I'll just list the people down. And anyone happen to look at this can go for themselves and do their own research. But it's there. You're going to have to listen to people. Just like you go to a doctor, and a doctor sits in his little stool. Your back's out, and you ask him, Doc, what can you do to help me? And the doctor's going to tell you. Right? Or you need a legal advice, you go to a lawyer. Well, guess what? You can go on there's lawyers, there's laws, there's classes actually, and seminars you can go in on and listen, and you'll pick up something even from a layperson. Like going to class, you didn't have to pay for it. So there it is. I don't know if anybody's going to listen to this or not. Probably not. I don't know how people who do this get people to listen to them. I don't know how that works, but like I said, share, subscribe, hit the bell. And this is all this man's got to say today.